Hello and welcome to today's interview. I'm Audrey Cushing, the Business Services and Quality Director here at V Technologies. We will be spending a few minutes today talking with Vivek Venkataram, our Senior Director of Client Services. He will be sharing with us highlights from his new white paper, Anatomy of an Outsourcing Partnership. Vivek, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Audrey. I appreciate the invite.
Oh, you're very welcome. So what inspired you to write about this topic?
Sure. So over 10 years of managing client relationships from a client services perspective, when I was thinking about what I wanted to focus on, I thought let's zero in on a rather complex example of building a partnership and talk about what made it a success. And using a specific example allows us to anchor some of that feedback around shared experience. So that's why I chose to write about this example.
That makes a lot of sense. So I'm curious, in terms of the industry, what is happening in healthcare that makes this so relevant?
Complexity, right? Complexity and time would be the two levers that I answered your question with. Because what we have seen, especially over the last 10 years, and especially in the provider space, is our client profile move up the chain in terms of their value requirements from their vendors. So no longer do we see niche or siloed or project-based types of approaches that are more top-down. What our clients are more and more requiring of us is a relationship that is an eye-to-eye level partnership. And they have more requirements that cross over into more areas of their business, that interweave and intersects with more and more complex environments. And it's happening in a much more compounded time in terms of the requirements and the need for deliverables. And so we're seeing everything move faster and we're seeing everything becoming more complex. And so it's more imperative that you set the foundations for the relationship at a partnership level so that you can move through the relevant elements of a relationship or partnership.
So you brought in almost a decade of experience into this paper.
Yeah, I think so. I hope I did. I hope it looked that way versus 10 months of experience. So.
Good point.
Really what I wanted to do was to lay out an example where we had over 130 resources across 10 specialties or 11 different areas in a complex environment where we had direct relationships with end clients and other scenarios where the end clients work through our intermediary. And so it creates a very complicated environment where not only do you need a primary level of account management, but you need a secondary level of account management that interweaves with the client and the third party. And so with these kind of stakes, with this kind of requirement in terms of build out, and with this level of complexity in terms of first level, second level, and third level relationships, it was really important that we are able to dissect that and to look at, hey, what works at an environmental level? What works when you're looking at the trends of the partnership? And from a transactional perspective, what kind of insights are you able to use and do you have at your disposal to give you the right insights? And what do you do with those insights in terms of moving the relationship through year 5 and 6 and 7, and in the middle game, so to speak, of the chessboard? How can you continue to keep that partnership thriving? How can you continue to make sure that you have a shared ecosystem? How can you continue to understand that objectives and values change and they're changing faster than ever? And how can you keep up with your clients in that kind of environment is what I'm hoping my readers could take away, Audrey.
That is great. Well, thank you, Vivek. We hope you enjoyed learning more about Vivek's white paper. I know I did. Please visit our V Technologies website to download a copy of his paper. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.